Today on the Outer World Workshop, we're going to start another big build, and this one also has me very excited. Hey Outer Worlders, and welcome to the Outer World Workshop. And as the intro said, we're starting another big build, and this build also has me very excited. It's something that I've always wanted, and well, I'm going to have it. So I'm using a different kind of technique than other people use to make this prop. It's a life-size Han in Carbonite. So first of all, I wanted this part to be done because even though this video came out now, this was built for December. I wanted it to be built for Christmas because we had people coming over and I wanted them to see this in my room. So I just did the front part of it, and the other part that'll be the box that's going to have another purpose than just decor. So let's just see how I made my Han in Carbonite. So first I marked out in the wood panel that's going to be the base, the measurement of the Han in Carbonite chamber. And I cut out the piece. Now I'm marking out the edge that we're going to have so I can know which area is the one where Han in Carbonite will go. So I marked the center piece and then try to fit the pieces to see how they look. And here are all the 18 3D printed pieces of the Han in Carbonite. So I spray painted so I can see where these parts go. And now I'm sanding all the pieces so when I glue them up, they stick better. Now using some CA glue and some 5-minute epoxy, I put all the parts together so it could have a solid fit. Then I noticed I was about an inch off from the top, so I repositioned and sprayed again so I know where I should put the glue. As you can see, it's a whole solid piece. So I'm using liquid nails here to glue down the Han onto the board. And using that spray line that I used, the second one, I put it down in position and pressed it firmly so the glue could stick and hold it down. And now I'm putting a little bit more of liquid nails all around to fill in a little bit of a space that was in there, and also so it could hold it down a little bit more. So I put in some screws so it could hold it down while the liquid nail did its job. So using XTC 3D from Smooth On, I diluted it a little bit with some acetone so I can give a layer on the 3D print, and this is just the first step to start to get rid of those print lines. And now using some corking, I'm smoothing out the edges to make a soft transition from the Han 3D print to the board where the Carbonite is going to be. I started sanding some of the higher parts of the 3D print to seal in all those spaces in between the prints so it could be a solid piece. First I did this pass with some spot filler, and then I used the spot filler acetone mix to just paint over the whole thing another layer to eliminate some layer lines. And after that was done, I put a coat of filler primer and then started working on the edges. I cut out the pieces, glued them on, and stapled them in. I used some vinyl spackling to cover up the staple holes and also to create the carbonite texture on the board. I sanded out the edges to make them smooth, and then did a layer of primer on all the spackling. Then did a layer of gloss black, so when I put down the silver, it'll be even shinier. I rolled on some paint on the edges and then got ready for the weathering. So I watered down some acrylic paints and just slapped it on and wiped it off a couple of times until I had what I thought was the best amount of weathering. And after that was done, all I needed to do was install it in my room so when my friends come to visit, it would be ready. And there it is, my Han in Carbonite. At least just the front part, the Han Solo part. The Carbonite chamber will be made in a later video, because I'm going to do it differently. And like I said, I made this Han in Carbonite so it would be installed for when my guests came over for Christmas. So like you saw, I used a 3D printed file because it's more accessible to me, and it was also cheaper, and I'm kind of a cheapskate. I just like to make things more difficult for myself, or just use the tools that I have available. There's a lot of ways to make this. You can maybe 3D print the face or just get a face mold and do the clothes. Like I've seen a lot of makers do this just completely from scratch, and that's very impressive. So I thought of making it that way, but since I have my 3D printer, I just printed out all the parts and, like you saw, made my Han in Carbonite. There's some things that I like to fix, but that's for a later video. So I hope you like the way I made my Han in Carbonite. If you did, please give us a like down in the bottom. And subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And also share it so others can also subscribe and also can enjoy the content. I want to remind you also that I have a Patreon if you want to support us in that way. The link is down in the description. So once again, I want to thank you for being here in the Outerwear Workshop, and see you next time when we make something out of this world.